Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Lowrollers plus RJ. My name is Trey.
I'm Brian.
I'm RJ.
We've got a fun show tonight. We had Adepticon. How did everybody like Adepticon?
It's my first Adepticon, so I'm still trying to process everything.
It's not my first, so it went about how every Adepticon does.
Yep. Technical difficulties, and that's actually very normal. I know a lot of people were new to it with 10th edition and didn't expect that level of technical difficulties. That's very normal.
Why? We don't know. They're, multi-million-dollar company.
You know, at some point it wrapped back around for me from frustrating to charming. I'm just like, no, it's gonna happen every year. Just wait and see.
The coordinator goes, all right, and then we'll have technical difficulties here because we haven't had not had technical difficulties for the past 10 years.
That's right.
So,
gotta include them. But go ahead, RJ. I'm sorry.
No, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Continue on. I'm just befuddled.
RJ suggested that we go ahead and break this one up tonight, and we'll talk about the new models next week, and we'll talk about the new rules tonight, the rules preview that we got for 11th edition. With that in mind, I wanted to ask before we get into the rules, what did you think about the 11th edition box? Like the name, the references, the trailer, if you saw it, what do you think?
You're talking about Armageddon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy that we've gone to orcs, because orcs always kind of brings the silly, fun side of a really grimdark world to the front. And we hadn't seen orcs in a while, so what was it? What edition? Well, what edition did we have orcs as the main contenders?
It was 3rd edition.
Yeah. So we hadn't seen them in a while, and orcs didn't see a lot of love.
Yeah.
This edition, so I'm hoping this changes that.
Yeah. Brian?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, again, not being new, I should say, that I was aware of Armageddon. I don't know, I can't remember where I first heard about it, but I knew of Armageddon. So the fact that we were going back to it at first was like surprising, and then I realized we were going back to it many years ago. So
yeah,
kind of like a sequel part 2, which is cool. I always heard of Armageddon, but I didn't realize Armageddon was a world.
Yeah,
which I should start realizing these things, that everything has a place, even if it's a name like Armageddon. That somebody would actually name a home world. Let's call it Armageddon, because that's a cheery name.
So second edition. Oh, go ahead.
Grimdark universe.
2nd edition was Blood Angels versus Orcs on Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
3rd edition brought in the Space Wolves. It brought in the Imperial Guard. It brought in the Black Templars. It brought in the World Eaters. And some of those like came on as the lore for Armageddon expanded. The Steel Legion Guard,
Mm-hmm.
But at its core, it was Blood Angels versus Orcs, and I think it's cool that they're going back to that for this box.
Yes.
But all right then. So we have a lot of rules changes. Does anybody have a preference where we start?
Well, maybe we should, since every game starts with a beginning. How about us start with the whatever changes at the beginning of the.
Army building.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with army building.
Yeah, why not?
I guess technically we would start with the app changes, because you're going to use the app theoretically.
Yep.
To build your lists,
Yeah, there's no way that there's another thing you can use other than the app.
Another thing that now has like full Crucible support and is really cool, and the main app should have that.
Yes.
And also full Legends support that the main app should have. Maybe those will be coming as well.
And I can track my game through it now.
So that is one of the things the app is going to be getting.
A little late, don't you think?
Yeah. And we got that from the FAQ, but the Q&A. But the app is getting a big refresh, more languages, in-game scoring, and it will let you see your opponent's data sheets mid-game.
So we no longer have to ask RJ, what's your toughness?
Yeah. You can just check.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most importantly, you will now know without having to give up your strategy and what you're trying to do, like what the toughness is blanket across the board. You can check that for every unit if you want to. You can check if they have fights first. You can check all that stuff. So at first it will slow things down, but I think as a whole it is a great change.
It will be for competitive, definitely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one of the biggest changes for competitive is obviously the judges and the TOs and the spectators, the casters. They don't know every rule off the top of their head. It will make sure there's no more blatant cheating happening at competitive events like has been happening.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I am far too quick to try and move on to another topic. So please.
No. I was just it's surprised. I mean, I'm happy because we all know I'm a stats guy, and I'm happy that we can now track the game. Use the app to track the game. I'm glad that it would appear that in some fashion we don't unless we're you, Trey, we don't need to have every codex.
You say that like you're not buying that Knights box.
We'll talk about that on the next show. But I'm just excited. I like that because I just like the information. I love the lore. That was one of the reasons after I finally begrudgingly got into it and reading about the good guys and the bad guys and how you guys say there's no real good guys.
Yeah.
There's no real good guys.
Yeah.
There's no real bad guys. I mean, but anyway, I'm just excited. It's like because somebody's convinced me to go ahead and play Night Lords now.
Yeah.
It's like, do I get the Space Marine Codex? I should, because I don't want to wait until June.
I mean, it'll still work up until the Chaos Space Marine one. And who knows when that's coming? It could be immediate. It could be 3 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I don't know. I just like the fact that, I as somebody who hates to constantly ask you guys, what's your strength and toughness there, RJ? And then I don't ask enough. And then I end up blowing up a unit that I think is tough. And they were all just like 1-drop toughness 2s. And the unit I should have blown off the board is still sitting there right next to my favorite Blade Guard veteran squad.
Leave those poor scarabs alone, Brian.
I shoot the scarabs, but leave the destroyers, Scorpec destroyers, all by the low lonesome when I should be shooting them off the board.
You definitely should be shooting Scorpecs before scarabs.
Bug, die.
Yeah. Meanwhile, big, scary, bladed robot man.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's not hurting nothing. He's
not going to hurt it. Yeah. So anyway,
that's
what I'm happy about.
You mentioned the Codex.
Mm-hmm.
Codexes are sticking around until the next edition, whenever their Codex drops, which is really good on some hands. It's one of the things I'm a little sad about as well, because it means we're probably not getting a psychic phase. Because your Codex is still going to be fine, and your Codex doesn't have a psychic phase in it. But on the other hand, we had entire editions where some armies didn't get a Codex until their next edition Codex, and this, 10th edition, everybody got a Codex that was getting one. So that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it could still be a while before your new Codex drops, so at least you will still have new detachments to play with.
Yes.
We don't have an index now. We're just going Codex to Codex.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting.
So I guess... now here, forgive my naivety of because what was the last codexes to come out? Voton?
Oh, the last codex is...
I can tell you the last codex to come out on 8th edition. It was Knights.
Yeah, that's true. Let me check, actually.
because I know we have a player at our shop that went and bought index cards for Votan, and then immediately they were useless because he got his codex.
So not only that, immediately some of the codexes were worthless when they came out, which is another issue. But I think it was Drukari. Yeah, Drukari was October of last year.
So I'm gonna ask because I'm dumb and I haven't played this faction before. Is the Emperor's Children one still good?
Yes, Emperor's Children one is still good, and actually doesn't have a ton of FAQs as compared to some of the other ones.
I guess my naivety is Drukari were the last one. I know Leagues of Votan's relatively close to that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be like, okay, the first codexes are going to be Space Marines, because I just assume that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, Space Marines always comes first.
And Orcs. That's just seems like the logical
Space
choice.
Marines and Orcs will be coming with the launch of the edition.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't go, well, we just gave you guys Drukari, so instead of having to wait another 3 years, all those books you just bought and spent $60 on, they're now pointless.
Hey, they sure could, Brian.
I wouldn't put it past them.
They sure could. Okay. So let me throw this at you. It worked out well enough, but it didn't have to, right? The last two codexes to come out for 9th edition were Astra Militarum, Imperial Guard, and World Eaters.
Okay.
Now, the Guard Codex came out in 2025 for 10th edition. So it was a little while. But I'm trying to figure out when the World Eaters one came out. I thought that one was pretty close to the start of the edition.
It would have been, because they got a box, didn't they?
Yeah.
They got an army box.
So
it would have been when the army box released.
It depends not on when their previous codex came out. It instead depends on when their launch thing is coming out. So just as with 10th edition, we had a long period of maybe once a month there'll be a big release with 2 codexes coming out. There'll be 2 battle forces. There'll be 2 new combat patrols and maybe a couple named characters. And then right at the end of 10th, we're getting a bunch of stuff all at once as they try to wrap up 10th edition. It's going to be like it was before in 11th. We'll have a month where we get 2 codexes, and then a month where we get 2 codexes, and every codex will have a new combat patrol, a new character, or a new unit, and maybe a battle force.
Okay. I have questions, but that's good. I can hold on to my questions.
Just keep in mind that the only thing that tells us what armies are getting codexes is, I would say, if you're in the concept art for the Armageddon campaign, there's a good chance you're going to be getting your codex sooner. Or
so Blood Angels.
Let me put it, well, Blood Angels for sure are going to get theirs early on because they're the poster boys this edition. But like Sisters has a brand new character coming.
Mm-hmm.
If that character comes in 10th, their codex could be a while. If that character comes in 11th, their codex will come with that character.
Like, I don't honestly expect Necrons to get their codex till very late in this edition.
Yeah, they were pretty
because
early.
Of everything just because everything that's come out at the end of 10, they're not going to want to have something else come out.
That's right. GW loves to pair boxes with, or codexes with a box.
I guess that does lead to my question. It does kind of is relevant because I was talking to a coworker of mine who is she is an avid player of Warhammer, whose husband is an avid player of Warhammer.
Oh, they sound cool. You should introduce me.
I will. I think you'll like the lady. But we were talking about it, and I said, hey, they can't be releasing too much more stuff. I mean, we've got the big release of everything. And I'm sure we'll talk about it sometime in the near future. But we got the pre-release. Wrong game. But the pre-order for everything that was released, the Defiler and all that stuff.
Yeah, all at the same time.
All at the same time. So I'm just like, they have to I said, well, they can't be doing too much more because, here it is April almost. They can't be releasing too much more 10th edition stuff. And my friend's wife was like, "Oh ho, au contraire, mon frère.
They sure could.
They could. They sure could." And I was gonna ask you, is she correct?
So, RJ, you might have some input on this too, but when it was time for 9th edition to end, and they did the full everybody could do soup, where you could bring anything from any other army within your super faction,
Oh,
they
yeah.
put out so many boxes. It
Well,
was
yeah,
a
I mean-
rush.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not expecting them to, especially with them have already announced 11th edition,
Mhm.
and they've got all of this other stuff going on. And we've already had a really big major drop with Necrons getting their new stuff and then Ultramarines getting their new stuff. I'm not expecting them to have a super heavy drop at the end of the edition, but it is not impossible that they do.
I think
I'm not expecting it really though.
the question comes down to, is that new Orcs character an 11th character or a 10th character? Is that new Imperial Agents character an 11th character or a 10th character? Is that new Sisters character an 11th character or a 10th character? Because if they're 10th characters, we're getting another big wave.
Yeah. It really will come down to, is this all Armageddon? Or is this stuff y'all are going to drop before Armageddon and then just fully commit to Orcs and Dark and Blood Angels for the first couple months of 11th?
Okay. All right. So we have the app.
Yep, we've talked codexes.
Yep. We've
Next,
talked
of
codexes.
course, would be detachments.
Yep.
Oh, you mean the 70 new ones we're getting when 11th edition drops?
Yep. And the old ones are still supposed to be working, but I assume they have to get some kind of rework because detachments are going to be modular now.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
So there's a couple different ways they could do this, which supposedly from what I've been reading and what they said, we're supposed to get more information about how this is going to work as this week pans out.
Yes.
But there's two ways they could do flexible detachments. And it's either you break your armies up into kind of like battalions and you just split your pieces between those battalions, like what you're taking. Or they literally just let you ad-lib detachments and take this rule from a detachment, this rule from a detachment, and now that's your army rule for that time being, or that's your detachment rule for that time being. And I'm really hoping it's the first because that's much more narrative than the second, because that feels like, I don't know, it just doesn't. Feels like I'm playing a video game.
The first is also much easier to balance.
Yes.
The first is how 9th edition worked. So Brian, and I know RJ.
Explain that again to
RJ,
me?
you got to play some 9th, right? Or did you miss 9th completely?
I might have played a game or two of 9th.
Okay.
So I might as well have missed it entirely.
I got you. So in 9th edition, it kind of worked the way that AOS works, where you would choose we called them detachments, but it wasn't like that. You would choose a detachment, which was a warlord, and then you would choose a list of, hey, I want fast attack options. I want elite options. I want support options. I want transports. And so each one of those was a separate detachment in your force. And so in the
Age of
force
Sigmar
organization
does battle
chart,
scrolls.
yeah, exactly, with regiments of renown, right? When you want to bring in allies, and so you would have your different detachment from there, and your fast attack was like 6 outriders and character with a jump pack and 5 jump pack marines, and that was one detachment, and they had rules that buffed them. And then you had your battle line detachment, which was your regular intercessors, and they had rules that buffed them, and it worked really well, but people hated it because of how you couldn't take a free list that you wanted of everything. And so I'm hoping this is a combination of that idea and 10th's idea, Where it's, hey, if I just want to take fast attack, I can just take fast attack. You know.
Yeah, Age of Sigmar is really bad about that. They make you take different battle scrolls and stuff like that, and so it makes it hard to build an army.
Yeah.
I have a hard enough time building an army, so I'm hoping that it's simple.
Well, what my hope is they've made it more like the actual way military breaks things up. So you've got your like squadrons, and then your squadrons will get specific detachment rules.
Yeah.
But then you'll have your army as a whole, and that way you're not having to run like, oh well, I really want to take my cryptotech stuff with this army because a couple of them are good, but this detachment that buffs cryptotech doesn't do anything for my warriors or my immortals or anything like that.
Which is where we're at right now.
Right.
Yeah. So their idea, I'm hoping what they're thinking is that I could make a portion of my army be under the detachment that likes cryptotechs, and it all be cryptotechs, and then the other half of the army be under like Awakened Dynasty, so that my immortals and stuff get buffed for their hit rolls. And then the models, auras, and stuff like that still affect each other like friendly units, but it's not like having to sacrifice half my army to take a detachment.
And one thing that they said in the Adepticon preview for it was that what they wanted is, say you're somebody like Brian that likes to take a bunch of bikes and wants to take a bunch of Terminators. There's not currently a detachment that lets you do that, and both get buffs.
Right.
But you could take the detachment that buffs Terminators and the detachment that buffs Outriders, and you could combine those together and buff both. And so I assume you have to give something up to do that. But if all the detachments are reworked to be like, hey, this detachment... Because another thing they said is that in a 2,000-point game, you can make several detachments to tailor your army list, or just pick one straight.
I wonder if they're going to give you like a point value for everyone.
I think
each
probably.
Detachment rule is a certain amount of points, and so you can mix and match your detachment rules up to a certain value.
And it could be if you just choose to take the detachment wholesale, you don't have to pay any points.
Yeah, but if you want to like take a rule out and put another rule in, it's this many points. And that way they can balance your detachment rules without, making it super complicated.
A simple base detachment. So like for Space Marines, all of them are the same. Gladius is 100 points. But if I want to take something from the Iron Hand, let's just say the Imperial Fist detachment that buffs, and then I subtract out something that's in there, you got to make sure that you're picking something that's, if it's equals 25 points, you got to pull out something that's 25 and add something that's 25.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Is what I'm gathering.
But we don't know for sure they're going to cost points. It could be that they don't cost anything at all, and everybody immediately goes for the meta choice.
That'll get balanced real quick.
Yeah. But
because I even though I don't play Dark Angels that much right now, I would love to be able to play with my Raven Wing bikes, but they don't really go well with the Deathwing.
There's not a single bit of rules currently in the game that make bikes worth it.
Yes.
Unless you're playing Space Wolves, and then it's just because their bikes are wolves. That's literally the only variant of bikes that are good right now. And so
is the mounted Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Yeah. And so this, to me, if it goes the way we're talking about, I think this is going to be incredible. Because this will give you the freedom to build however you want to build and still have a decent list.
If your bike isn't breathing, it's not worth taking.
Yeah, just leave it at home, If it likes Scooby Snacks, take it to the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good one.
The other thing about detachments is they now affect the missions you're playing.
Yes.
So your army will affect what missions you get for primary and secondary. And on the one hand, this could be really cool. The other hand, it might not be. So basically, what they were saying is, if your army is incentivized to take and hold, like Votan, you will score based on taking and holding. If your army is based on killing things, like World Eaters, you will score based on killing things.
I know this is an attempt to make it more narrative. I know what it is. I understand that. But also, this is going to be so hard to balance.
Yep.
And does that mean that both sides are going to have different missions?
So, my understanding is you will have a different primary from each other based on this. Now, they've done that before with secondaries in 9th edition. If they choose to let you have the same primary but different secondaries, that could work. The problem was in 9th edition, Grey Knights had one where if you had 3 objectives that you had Grey Knights on across the board in No Man's Land, if you held 3 objectives for one turn, you got 45 victory points. You know how easy it is to hold 3 objectives in No Man's Land with an army that teleports?
Yeah, that would be fairly simple.
And so in 9th edition, if you were playing against Grey Knights, you just expected to be at a 45-point loss. And it sucked. So hopefully they're not doing that again. But I don't know.
I'm torn. Just don't let them take 3 points.
Yeah, exactly. Just bring all infiltrate. I'm real torn on this one, honestly. I think it could be really fun, especially for casual games. I think it could be really fun. I think it's probably going to suck for competitive unless it's the same primary and just different secondaries.
You know, it's kind of crazy that we're watching the company take a step away from competitive play and lean more towards a casual playing style.
I'm here for it, but I do agree with you. It feels like no companies do that. Everybody does the opposite.
I'm really hoping that they do it well and it doesn't backfire.
Yeah, it's gonna suck if it backfires and 12th is straight competitive.
Yeah, that's my big thing, because usually when they do something like this that other people aren't doing and they take that step the other direction, if it comes back and bites them hard enough, they will dive the other direction so hard it's not even funny.
Yeah.
At some point, we need to talk about the difference between the two. I know there's a difference. I've seen it, the deck lists.
Oh, competitive and casual?
Yes.
Yeah.
The army list, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I said deck list, didn't I? Sorry. Okay, yes, the army list, because the army list I like playing in our casual format. You know, I bring Hellblasters all the time.
Yeah.
And
that doesn't make it competitive.
And that is not, the Hellblasters are not a part of a competitive list.
They are part of some, but I'll tell you what makes a competitive list in Warhammer, Brian. It's if RJ wants to play Emperor's Children competitive, he has no choice. He has to run 3 Winged Demon Princes.
Okay.
I love that.
That's the only way for that army to be competitive right now. If he wants to run AdMech competitively, he's running a bunch of Taraxi. He's running no Cataphrons.
I'm running, what was the last Switch? The one that won Worlds was like straight Scutari. So it was the Flyers, the Horses, Rangers, and Ballastaris.
Yep.
With Call.
Competitive lists are boring.
Yeah. Because, I mean, every competitive list for almost all Space Marines, whether it be Ultramarines or
Tanks. Uh-oh. We're losing him, RJ.
I think we lost him.
I
don't think we're losing him. I think we lost him.
Yep. What were you going to say, RJ, while we're waiting? About the AdMech list?
Well, it's Scutari cohort. That's all it is. I mean, that's all it's ever been. I think I saw a guy run Halo Creed once.
Yeah.
And he did okay, but it wasn't anything crazy. But Scutari cohort making everything have a -1 to hit is just too good.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping.
Hello?
Oh, he's
he's
back.
back. I'm hoping that this detachment thing changes that, and maybe I can run some cool detachments with AdMech.
That'd be fun.
Be cool to add some Halo Creed stuff into the Scutari cohort.
Yeah.
So you can hear me now.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. Or everyone's dreaded Rad Zone into my Halo Creed detachment.
That'd be fun.
Or
No,
it
it's
makes
not.
my castle and robots relevant, because then I can run cybernetic.
Yeah. Nobody's running that right now.
Locus Cybernetica or whatever.
I don't even know. I've left it out of my mind because it sucks.
Yeah. And Halo Creed together would be fantastic.
Yeah. Brian, the last thing we heard, you were talking about Space Marine competitive lists.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why, by the way. I have no idea why. I didn't get a beep or anything that said I was out.
It's
but
just
anyway.
Siege, you know.
Yeah. Every competitive lift I've seen, in fact, one that won this weekend had, they always got a combi lieutenant, which seems pointless to
the
take.
Combi Lieutenant era.
Yep.
Yes. Which seems silly to take in a casual game, but I haven't tried it out yet.
I take him all the time in Blood Angels. He's great.
Yeah, I have to build mine and paint mine, but and at least one or two. I think the last one had, the one that won this weekend had 2 repulsor executioners, 2 ballista dreadnoughts, 6-man, Victrix honor guard, Gilliman, Marnius, the combi lieutenant, and then like
I bet it was because my son's watching Sonic Boom in there.
Sonic.
Well, I'm looking forward to possibly running multiple things with. I'm hoping it's simple, but allows me to run my Terminators, which I don't get to do anymore.
Yeah.
With something good.
What's funny? With as many armies as there is in 40K right now, I don't think 70 detachments covers all of them.
So that's another thing that's been brought up is if demons are still separate, right? If we break it down, I'm going to pull the calculator up here because I can't do this math in my head. Space Marines are getting at least 2, right?
Well, I'd make the fair assumption that most armies that are getting 1 are probably getting 2.
Right.
It wouldn't make sense not for them to.
So if we divide that down, it's 35.
What?
35 detachments.
That's 35 armies are getting 2 new detachments, is what that would be.
Now, there's not 35 armies, but there's pretty close. Let me get the list up here, and we'll see. Because I'm going to do this the easy way. We're going to do 70, and we're going to minus 4 right away for the Demon Legions. For the individual like Chaos Demons list. Because they're probably only getting 1. Then we have...
Space Marines are getting 2.
Yes. So we'll go ahead and minus 2 there for default Codex Space Marines. Black Templars are at least getting 1. Blood Angels are at least getting 1. Dark Angels are at least getting 1. Grey Knights are at least getting 1. Right?
Orcs will get 1.
Orcs will get 1 for sure.
Main
Space Wolves.
Space Wolves will for sure get at least 1. We're down to 58 already. That's if we don't have Iron Hands salamanders. If they don't get one, which they probably will. Sisters are at least getting one. Custodies are at least getting one. Admechs at least getting one. Guards at least getting one. Agents and knights, we're down to 52. Then if we go... I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's just the Adeptus Adeptus. That's just the Emperor.
Yeah. That's just Imperium.
Imperium.
With
How many
Chaos,
armies are there?
we're down to 46. Eldar.
No. How many armies are there in general?
Are we counting the different Space Marine armies as individuals? Or no?
How many codexes are there
6, 7, 8.
for 10th edition?
That's the question. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 codexes. So 70 minus 27 minus 4.
So I would say there are people that are going to get left out and not get new detachments, or we're losing some of the Space Marine detachments. Like, we're not going to get specific Space Marine detachments.
If everybody gets one, we still have 34.
34 left?
34 left, yes. But most of them are going to get 2. And there's not enough for everybody to get 2.
And I guarantee you there's going to be a heavy stack. Your basic Space Marines are going to get a bunch.
They're probably getting
because
6, right?
they need... Yeah, because they need it for their other non-codexed Marine armies that don't have codex, like Salamanders.
If we do the same thing for Chaos Space Marines and give them 4, and actually we got to give them 1 more because of Red Corsairs, we're down to 23 to spread between the other factions. I think Orcs are probably getting at least 1 more.
I wouldn't doubt it if they got 2. Why would you give your poster child only 1?
Right.
For this edition.
So then we got 22 to spread between everybody else. And I think that's enough to give everybody else 1 more. But let me see.
Do we lose anybody? Like,
I don't think so.
We're going to keep Imperial agents?
Yeah, their codex is still good. All the codexes carry forward.
Oof. They really... You want to talk about an army that they just took out back and shot and then just have let dry on a cloth for the whole edition?
Their new character is going to change everything. RJ, you just wait.
Sure.
Okay.
He's going to show up, everybody's going to go, he's really cool, and then go, but the army's shit, and then continue on.
So if Chaos Demons Undivided don't get a detachment, and Death Watch don't get a new detachment, which they both probably will, there's 5 left if everybody gets a second one, except for them.
Everybody gets...
So with them getting them, we've got 3 left,
Yes.
meaning there's going to possibly be a couple people that get
a couple more.
3?
Yeah, there could be. And that's assuming that Chaos Space Marines get 6 and Space Marines get 6, right? They might not. But
or hear me out. They split a couple armies up and we get a Harley Quinn detachment.
There's also just as much chance that we get Eldar Corsairs since they got focused too. So we could get Eldar Corsairs and Harlequins.
Now, they just came out...
The last Harley Quinn detachment was fun.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Didn't I read that in this latest, the stuff that's being released, that there's a new detachment that goes with the Sons of Dorn Combat Patrol Battle Force?
A new detachment for everything that's getting new stuff this week.
Right. because I think I read that. So, and that since they're basically saying that this is a Iron Hands, Black Templars, not Iron Hands, sorry, Imperial Fist.
Imperial
God, they
Fist,
do that.
sir.
Yeah, we don't
The
want
sons of
we don't want-
Manus are not the sons of Dorn.
well,
Our
yes,
dad's
I also
headless.
just realized something.
one's really good, and the other one's the Sons of Manus.
Oh. What'd you realize, RJ?
So I've also just realized something. So they said there will be over 70 new ones.
Yeah.
But it says 70 new and updated detachments.
Yeah, so it's possible
So
some of them will
some
just
of
be...
these detachments
Mm.
reworked for 11th edition from 10th.
Yeah.
They haven't come out and said what the new detachments are for these ones that are getting released.
Not yet. We should be getting those this week.
Right.
We
'Cause
have...
the assumption.
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I say the assumption I've read was that it's going to make the detachment that's for the Imperial Fist that nobody really runs. You update it, make it better and actually usable.
Could be. We have so many more rules to talk about. I'm not saying we can't continue this conversation, but we've been mulling over detachments now for like 30 minutes.
Okay, well, let's keep going.
Well, you know, it's as opposed to talking about that circles don't exist in Warhammer anymore, apparently.
Yeah,
So,
that's a big change, right? Like,
Yes.
anyway, but before, for those of you that didn't follow, objectives don't exist anymore. Well, they do, but not in the sense of the objectives that we are used to. They're not big circles with a chip in the middle and then 4 inches out on the side. They're saying that objective markers are going to be replaced by terrain footprints, key locations, relics, fortifications.
Mhm.
So basically, a really heavy push to narrative play, like
Yes.
what you do in a crusade or something, where you're like, this is what you need to take over. You've got to hold this
yes.
kind of thing. So that in casual play won't be a big deal because people
Right.
did that already if they didn't have objective markers.
Yeah.
But in competitive play, this will be crazy because people will have to start regulating what they want to use as objective markers.
That's right.
Because in competitive play, everything has to be uniform.
Mm.
So that'll
we'll
make
get-
competitive play very interesting.
We'll get a whole bunch of new things to buy if you wanted to have competitive
yeah.
terrain, competitive markers.
Well, I don't think so. I think what'll end up and happen is a couple of those companies that run competitive play, not Warhammer stores and stuff itself, but like the companies that run the competitive, the few out there. I don't remember the name of a couple of them that do their competitive rules, but PTC something.
Yeah,
is
the
one of them.
ITC or Tabletop
ITC.
Titans.
Yeah. So what they'll do is they're going to come back and basically make that not a rule. They're going to regulate what you can use, whether they stick with circles or they get a specific template and go, this is our objective markers. This is what you have to use to be an objective. They're going to do that. That's what's going to happen. All Games Workshop has done now is give casual players a more fun way to do objectives without having to have circles, which doesn't bother me at all.
No, I think it'll be
because
cool.
the competitive people will regulate their objectives. There's no way not to in competitive play and not keep it consistent.
The only thing I'm torn on with this is that there is a small, very small part of me that feels like this is almost in retaliation because of how many YouTubers and companies have made their own objective markers for people to buy, neoprene objective markers, instead of buying them from GW. And now it's like, you can't sell those anymore. Now you'll have to buy our terrain. It's like, well, we're still not going to buy your terrain. We're going to buy like third-party terrain that looks great. But
right.
But I do think
I'll
on the
just
whole
3D
the game
print
is
it.
going to be. But yeah, exactly. On a whole, I think this makes the game way more fun to me than just standing around on circles.
Yes.
Yeah, it will. I mean, the fact that you have to be inside a terrain piece or something to claim it and stuff makes much more sense strategic wise than here's a circle that's half in a terrain piece and half out.
Yeah.
Like if I've got to take the building to take the objective, the building might as well be the objective.
That's right. That's right. And speaking of being in terrain, this is a very controversial rule. Some people are very upset about it already. We don't have all the information yet, but you cannot target an enemy unit that is in a piece of terrain that has not shot unless you are within 15 inches.
Yeah, that is going to make supposedly we won't see until it is put down in a game or something, but supposedly this is a push towards making combat heavy armies better.
Yeah. This operates kind of like Kill Team.
So this
in a way I think is really interesting. In Kill Team you can go concealed and you can't be shot until you shoot, so you flip to engage. And this is a really interesting way to do that in 40K. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, other than the fact it's going to make Blood Angels and World Eaters great.
Oh, Space Wolves are going to get such a bonus from this.
Oh, yeah. Brian, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, well, you basically had said that I think it kind of is the balance, because every new unit that's come out, almost every week you've been like, oh my God, this is insane. How can you, everything's about kill, kill, kill. And then like, well, you can't shoot it off the board now if they're hiding in terrain, which I've always thought was a little goofy. You could, partially, I thought it was goofy for both reasons, because, you'd be able to still, shoot my guys, even though I'm in the building.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit less easier when in actuality, unless you're blowing the building up, it's much harder to shoot people in a building.
Yeah.
And then, so I get that, but conversely, you don't have an option of just blowing the building up, which I always thought was kind of goofy on the other side. But anyway, I'm happy, because if that's the case, I can at least hide my melee guys and not worry about them getting shot.
Yeah. We also don't know yet if this is going to affect
Well,
vehicles and mounted and everything, or if it's just infantry.
in another note, even if you do shoot out of that terrain and get shot back, they're going to have a disadvantage to hit you now anyways.
Yeah.
Because, cover now affects the hit roll and not the save anymore.
Which it should have, in my opinion, the whole time.
Yeah.
Cover.
But
why are we waiting till all the way at the end of the cycle? It is, for sure. But why were we waiting till all the way at the end of all the dice rolling to see if the cover made a difference or not?
Because cover, even in 8th edition, when I played 8th edition, cover was still wound roll, not hit. So this is a real big switch for them, because that rule has been the same for what? 3-4 editions now,
until 10th, when they changed it to +1 to save instead, which was strange to me.
Yeah, because originally it was -1 to AP, right?
Yeah, which I thought made more sense than +1 to save.
Anything.
Right, it doesn't change anything,
but it still didn't change anything.
It just felt weird.
Like
to me,
it was it did. I think it did change things, because a -1 to AP affects the AP of the other person. And so -1 to wound rolls also affected it.
That's right.
So you could get double negatives.
Yeah.
So when they said add 1 to your wound save, now your negative to your wound save, or if you had a plus to your wound save, also will affect that same thing, which is probably why they did that.
That's very true.
Whereas
now it's just -1 to hit.
Stealth, it is, but now stealth is nerfed, because if I had stealth and I was in a terrain piece, I would get the -1 to hit, and I'd get the +1 to my wound save.
Right.
So I was getting double bonuses out of that.
Yeah.
Now I won't get that.
That's true. And
so they've secretly nerfed stealth.
Unless it changes in 11th as well. I agree. It's going to be weird. I think it's going to be really interesting to see, like, if you have an already tanky unit and you give something like neg 1 to save, or neg 1 to hit, I mean, because you're on cover, like, cultists just aren't going to shoot at you. They already hit on 6s. They're just not going to shoot at you. You know?
Yeah. Well, also things that have high AP are going to be much more sought after now. So
Yeah.
your anti elites killers and stuff that are like neg 2 AP are going to be so much better because I don't have a way to affect your AP anymore.
Yeah.
So that was the one way I affected your AP other than like Armor of Contempt
Yeah.
or some other stratagem.
Which I fully expect them to get rid of Armor of Contempt.
Probably.
Just because
Which is crazy. Are we moving over?
I'm going to say every
Go
new.
ahead.
I don't think every. I think every new detachment, other than the Blade of Ultramar, doesn't have Armor of Contempt.
Yep.
So are we moving over into a heavy AP heavy edition where AP is really going to matter because they're taking away everything that affects AP?
It did in 9th. AP was king in 9th. Since you mentioned Armor of Contempt,
that's the way it feels like.
we won't be able to stack strats either.
I almost did this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I almost did this transition before it. Yeah.
And that's
funny.
Much like the other changes we're talking about, that will matter. You know, not being able to stack the strats.
Yeah, one stratagem per unit per phase.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning I can't go, oh, I'm going to go to ground and I'm going to Armor of Contempt on these people. So now you're getting a neg 1 to your AP, and then I'm also getting my invuln save or whatever, which you would never do that. That's a dumb comparison.
Right, but it's a good example of...
Yeah. Well, we'll put it this way. In Necrons, in the new Legions of Despair, Legions of whatever, the new one.
Yeah, not Pantheon of Woe.
I can give them a neg 1. Yeah. It's Legions of something. I have a stratagem that gives them a neg 1 to hit me, and then I can also go to ground. And so I did that a couple of times in a couple of games I played where I was like, oh, this is a destroyer unit. I'm going to give them a neg 1 to hit me. And then on top of that, you have a really high AP. I'm going to also go to ground. So I get this invuln and I get, the benefit of cover. Can't do that anymore. You got to choose. Do you want to shoot better or not? So
I think this will balance out Ultramarines some.
Of course.
Where Calgar's over there letting Ultramarines have... Like, in one game we played, Brian literally used all of his command points and then was back up to, 6 by the next turn.
That's not true. You only get one extra one. I was discarding objectives because I couldn't get them, and Marnius Calgar already got it. But, I mean, I was getting 3 a turn, so by round 3, and I hadn't used any, so by round 3 I had 6, I think.
Also, I think, just to mention, I think that's capped at 2, by the way. 1 for your turn and then 1 from Calgar, but...
So,
you might be right.
Also counts rerolls, by the way.
It also does.
But we also, I haven't seen anything that says we should be starting the game with 1 either.
That's fair.
Which we do.
That's fair.
So, but I mean, we've all said that the game seems to be more fun when you have command points.
It is, and this is a good way to make sure you have more of them because you're not going to spend them all at once.
But that also means things like Overwatch.
Yeah, it's going to matter if you choose to Overwatch. It's going to matter.
You've got it, yeah.
Because
you just...
while I can't Overwatch again that turn, I could use a defensive strategy on that unit. So Overwatching is sacrificing my protection on that unit.
That's right.
Right. So you have to be able to do as much damage in Overwatch as the protection you would have. You have to eliminate that many units.
Yeah.
Equal to the amount you're going to save, which I never do because I don't have anything that has that's good.
Once you have your Defiler, Ryan. Once you have your Defiler.
Let's just say, I think unless the unit is specifically made for Overwatch or has a tendency to get a very high hit rate in Overwatch, people won't use Overwatch anymore. They'd already kind of killed it. 9th edition Overwatch had kind of just killed it already. We moved into 10th and they didn't really do a whole lot to it. But now that they've done the stratagem thing, I just don't see Overwatch happening unless that unit was specifically made to Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'm hoping we'll
So,
see
like-
more Overwatch
like my-
rules given to stuff to benefit it.
Yeah, like my Cataphrons give me where I can hit on 5s and 6s,
Mhm.
and when I Overwatch, you use those because 5s and 6s you get you'll probably get most a quarter of your shots statistically, probably maybe off on Overwatch, so it might be worth it, especially if you're
Right.
shooting into something with the Cataphrons with the anti-vehicle or something.
Right.
You might actually do a lot of damage to a vehicle.
Well, the only
But
time
like things like, oh well, what's up?
I would say for me, if I'm not shooting, I have to use my oath a moment on a target that I know I can't get to now. But if you move it, then I can shoot like my intercessors or my stern guard into it and get the reroll to hits if you're my oath a moment. That's really, I mean,
Yeah.
elsewise, you got to have Infernus Marines, and they're usually not close enough to affect you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to see Overwatch move to things that have abilities that affect Overwatch or flamers. That'll be the only thing that Overwatch
Yeah,
is anymore.
100%.
In all honesty, in this next edition,
100%.
which in competitive, I think that is the only thing that Overwatch is anyways. I almost never see Overwatch happen in competitive
Yeah.
play.
It will also keep units that have like fire and fade stratagems. It will keep them pinned down a little more because you can't use it on everybody on the turn now. It's okay, well, I'll fire and fade with this unit that I absolutely have to get away, and that's the only one that's getting to do it.
Again, a more killy addition, it
Yeah.
seems like.
Mhm. Speaking of killing.
Well, it's weird because as much as I'm watching them nerf one side of it, we talk about something else and I'm like, oh, they're nerfing the other side of it just as much too.
Yep.
Like they're doing a pretty good job from what I've seen so far, balancing out one rule for another.
That's what it seems like.
So we'll see.
We got a bunch of combat changes here. The first one is that, and we'll need more clarification on this. It seems like Fights First is both getting nerfed and getting buffed.
It's becoming less defensive and more offensive.
Yeah.
That would be the way I'd put it, at least.
The way it reads, if it's your turn, your Fights First model goes first.
Right. So if Blake, if I'm in combat with you, continuous combat, and it's my turn,
Mm-hmm.
and we both have Fight First, my Fight First goes off. Instead of if you're in continuous combat and you both have Fight First, who the person whose turn it isn't gets to go first.
Right. That's what it seems like. Which is a pretty big nerf and buff.
Yeah.
Like, the Lion now becomes much less of a defensive piece and much more killy.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the same with Judaseers on Blade Guard veterans and the new epic hero for Necrons.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I mean,
which I'm all for. Fights First has been a defensive tool in a cool way, and I liked that as an option. But also, if I have Fights First, I want to fight first, you know?
Right.
Like,
Right.
let me hit you.
Now,
go
does
ahead.
that mean because Fight First, even if you charge me, doesn't Fight First override that?
Whose turn is it?
The old. Well, if you get charged, obviously it's not your turn.
Right.
so
now-
in the old rule, the person who did not charge would get to fight first.
Yeah, because they had Fights
In
First.
11th edition, from what we're seeing, it is now the person who charged
Mhm.
that is going to get to fight first.
Which I like,
If both had Fight First.
because it
If
would be
both
your
have
turn.
fight first, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're also
The active
changing.
player is getting to fight first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We're also changing Pilot and Consolidate. You will no longer be able to pile in with one unit and then do all your combat and then consolidate and then pile in with the next unit It is almost going to be like this is how RJ and I
Its
were
own
talking about
phase?
it. Go ahead, sorry.
I said it's like it's its own phase now.
Yeah, it's kind of like untap, upkeep, draw, right? They're all your starting deal, but each are separate and have to be done before the other can be done. So all of your units will pile in, and then all of your units will fight, and then all of your units will consolidate.
Oh, okay.
And I think this will help a lot with combat tricks that were really tough for ranged armies to deal with. Of, hey, I'm going to pile in with this unit. I'm going to kill the enemy I'm on. I'm going to consolidate into another unit. And then instead of letting you swing back because we're now in combat, I'm going to use the other unit that charged to charge into your unit that would get to swing on my guys. I'm going to wipe that and consolidate towards the next one and just keep chaining that. That's something you can do right now in 10th. You won't be able to do that in 11th. Everything moves, everything fights, everything moves.
I think that's better.
I do too. I think it's going to balance it a lot. Because all these changes that are good for melee, this is technically bad for a melee army, right? But it is much better for the balance of the game.
Yeah,
I like it.
it'll be interesting, at least. It'll definitely help the flow of the game when you're teaching new people.
Yeah.
So instead of being like, activate this unit, can pile in, fight, consolidate, activate this unit, pile in, fight, consolidate. It'll be, okay, so charge, all your charges were made. All right, everything piles in. All right, pile everything in. Okay,
Yep.
cool. This will fight, now this will fight, now this will fight. Then you do your fight sequence. And then once everything's done fighting, you go, okay, everything that fought gets to consolidate.
Yep. Now, this is balanced out by charge rolls are much better than they were before. In 10th edition, you roll your charge by announcing your target, and then you roll it and see if you made it. And if you don't, you're just stuck standing there. In 11th edition, you will roll all of your charge rolls before you pick what you're charging, which will then let you choose what units are going where. So if you had 3 Assault Intercessors units, you'd roll for all 3 of them. You'd keep the rolls separate, right? You're not mixing the rolls. And you'd go, okay, this unit was originally going to charge 4 inches into this model. It can actually go 10. So it's going to go into that other model instead. And this other one that wasn't going to go anywhere is going to go into that first unit. And you can plan out your turn that way. It's much more tactical. I like it a lot.
And technically will buff combat armies.
Yes. So it balances out the loss of the combat tricks with pile in and consolidate in a way that I think is much better for the health of the game, because it means you will always know, like, hey, here are my options, let me choose them. And if you failed, it's not because you failed a charge roll, it's because you picked the wrong option,
Right.
On top of all that, we're fast dice rolling now, which means that if I full swing on your unit, we're not stopping to go, okay, well, technically before this damage came in, the character was alone, and so now we got to roll on that character. No, we're fast rolling this, buddy, which is both good for melee and bad for melee, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, and fast rolling has honestly been the meta for years now.
Yes.
Just they didn't make it official. Most people fast rolled because
That's right.
it was just easier to get through everything quicker.
Makes the
that
game
way.
much
So
faster.
the fact that they're now like, we're just going to make this the norm is probably better for the health of the game. In all honesty.
You would get it in some tournaments where a dude would be like, no, I'm slow rolling all these. I might be able to kill both your units. Like, okay. This guy just took a 15-minute shooting phase for one model. Right. It's rough. But I like this change.
Yeah, me too.
Past that, there's one more fight phase change that we have here, which is that if your transport is in combat with an enemy unit, you can disembark and go straight into combat, but you will be battle shocked, and you might lose some models from a desperate escape.
Oh, well.
But this means in World Eaters, you put the Master of Executions and a 10-man Berserker squad into one Rhino. You put Karn and a 10-man Berserker squad into another Rhino. You run those rhinos directly into your opponent, and then you get out and kill everything.
Blood for the blood god, I guess. you know?
Yeah, and if somebody dies, who cares?
Oh, you killed one guy. There's 3 more behind him.
Yep. It's awesome. This is such a cool change, and you're choosing to get Battle Shocked, but Battle Shocked is not as big of a detriment now when you can't spend all your stratagems all the time. So it's great. I love it.
Also, when this is great for Votan because he loads that unit up that can fight really well.
Yeah.
It has a bunch of little expendable guys with it.
Yeah.
And when he jumps it out, if they make their have to do their desperate, escape thing,
Mm-hmm.
who cares if he loses the little guys?
That's right. That's right. No, it's very cool. It will be super fun. And then you still get to swing with the rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you charged my rhino? No, you didn't.
Please do. The last rules thing that we have here is that recent campaign supplements, so Crucible Champions, all the new rules that have come with all of those books that none of us have really stopped to look at yet, I need to do so, are all going to be legal in 11th. So all the Crucible characters that you make, you can play those in 11th. All of the weird one-off, there's a new one coming, RJ, that I really want to talk to you about for Knights, that is instead of rolling to hit, you instead choose specific locations on the knight that you're targeting, and it's only for knight v knight.
Interesting.
As you take out segments on the other knight, trying to be the first one to take out all the key segments. It seems really cool. That's going to be legal in 11th. That's cool.
Interesting.
So we're going to be able to make our special commanders or leaders, and we'll be able to keep them for 11th.
That's right. And I said that was the last one. There is one more. I did not list these out separately, so I just had to go back over the list again. You can now assign leaders when you're making your army list, and if they lose their bodyguard, they keep all their rules.
Yeah.
They don't get worse when their friends die.
My Scorpec Destroyer, my Scorpec Lord will have lethal hits after my Scorpexes die.
Yep.
Yeah,
which
so
is kind of terrifying.
It's great.
It is, and honestly, makes sense. I mean, it's fine. It'll buff a lot of characters, though.
It will.
So
Will
that'll
we
be
see
cool.
a point increase for characters then?
Could be.
No.
I don't think so, but it could be. I think more likely we're going to get points for War Gear back.
That would be cool. Completely off topic. I'm scrolling through the Warhammer community thing, looking at all the
Cool new stuff.
not cool new stuff, but I'm looking at the new editions revealed at Adepticon preview.
Yeah.
Thing, and I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm skipping the model stuff because I know we're going to talk about that at a later date. But they've got art on here for Tau and Necrons.
Yeah.
And is that Blood Angels and Orcs?
Blood Angels
yeah,
and
it's
Orcs.
Blood Angels and Orcs. So interesting that the Tau and Necrons are on here. It feels like a really random thing to throw up here because everything else is Blood Angels and Orcs.
Well, there is a single on the other page for the Q&A. There's a single Space Wolves and Orcs. But otherwise, yeah, it is Blood Angels and Orcs everywhere. So that could be a little, hey, Necrons, Tau, Space Wolves.
That would be interesting.
Would be.
That would they typically have a side story going on when the main story is going on. So they'll do Armageddon and they're like, this is the big story. But meanwhile, while this is going on, the Necrons and Taus are found each other on the same planet or something like that. So
very interested in what 11th edition codexes are going to look like and what the order is going to be.
Oh yes, I agree. Even though I know I'm going to get mine first.
Yep, that's the best part about playing Space Marines, Brian. You always get it first. Always.
Yeah, well, they have to make up for all the nerfing you do to us all the time.
Oh, yeah. Just wait until Blood Angels are at the top of the meta because they got their 11th edition codex and they're sick with it because all the combat rule changes, and then we get nerfed into the ground.
So I have questions.
Yeah.
Let me. This is completely off topic. I mean, it is on topic, but it's also off topic. I just posted that photo I was staring at in the thing. What the heck is this big Tau unit in the back right corner?
Oh,
That's
that's
just kind of blurry.
Storm Surge.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was making sure.
Yeah, I would love to have a Storm Surge. Those things are so cool. They are huge.
Yeah, I was just kind of crazy. Those things are huge. I don't think I've ever seen one in person.
Yeah, they're expensive.
I mean, they're the equivalent of a knight to the Imperium, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that
Also,
makes more sense.
Before we go tonight... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I said I've seen the Eldar version of it, the big...
Wrathlord?
Whatever. Wraith Lords, yeah. But I don't think I've ever seen the Taus, as they put it in 8th edition, Lord of War.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool, and unfortunately not very good on the table right now, and also expensive. But
aren't they all?
I want
Anyways.
one so bad. What I was going to tell you, RJ, is I don't know if you were looking at getting any of the new AdMech stuff this weekend, but they did FAQ Thulia Gold, the new AdMech character.
Yeah.
So both her and Belisarius Call have Supreme Commander, which means they have to be your Warlord, which means you can't take both of them. Except they've FAQ'd it, which means that you can, separately just for AdMech, take both of them as long as you dictate to your opponent at the start which one is the actual Warlord. Then why print that rule, GW? Why put that on her data sheet?
Do they have different rules if they're the commander?
No, it's just that both of them have the Supreme Commander ability. It's the only time in the entire game it comes up. There are no other armies that have 2 Supreme Commanders in them.
Interesting. Does RJ even play
Crazy.
AdMech anymore?
I will. Look, I got cool new toys. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, once he has those new
I
Histari
got-
that are strength 12 las cannons.
Jesus Christ, they're so good.
He's got
They're
to play
so
his
good.
Emperor's Children first.
Yeah,
I gotta build my Emperor's Children first. Good God.
that's fair.
The downside to painting models before you put them together is they don't get put together very fast.
That's true. You should just do like me and have a bunch of unpainted primed
No,
models sitting
I
around.
refuse. I
Nope.
refuse.
Nope.
Look,
Have you seen the Emperor's Children's models? Do you think I could paint those put together?
that's fair. I'm gonna have
That's
to
what-
somehow.
That's what he does. I mean,
Well,
I've been putting
he's a madman.
some of these Thousand Suns I put together. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
So
And some are
If
like,
they have capes, they're not getting put together.
it's
Yeah.
not my fault that people wanted to borrow models, so I had to build a bunch instead of paint a bunch.
no, you should be like,
you just look at them and go, no.
no, exactly.
No.
Because for the most
unless
part, at the shop, for the most part, nobody's borrowed them.
I know they all asked to and then didn't.
Well, that's like I put in chat. Do we want to do Coliseum or not?
I'm game.
We haven't got an answer. But anyway,
Before we go tonight,
hey, let me get
go
some
ahead, go ahead.
Let me get Emperor's Children together, and then we can do some Coliseum.
Yeah,
I think Flawless Blade would go great into your Blade Guard veteran.
especially at 100
Anyways.
points. I did want to mention before we go that Saturday is, and this might be up before Saturday, might not be. I've got to edit it now since we lost Brian and then we lost me partway through. Saturday is the Eye of Terror stuff. So that's Krivik Morn, the Defiler, the Mutilators, the Iron Warriors Combat Patrol, Thulia Gould, the Histari, the Night Destrier, the Admech Battalion, the Knights Battalion, and the Sons of Dorn Battalion. Did we want to talk about those before they go up for pre-order, or did we already have our say on those? What do you think?
We pretty much talked about them. Oh, I don't remember talking about the tanks, but that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if, we need to go over it again. Other than just saying, hey, it's coming out.
And you
All
probably won't get it in time if you...
All
Listen
at
to
once,
this.
which means you either have to drop about $600 or you're not going to get everything.
Brian, I was doing the math. If I got everything I wanted, I'd be dropping $1,000.
$1,000?
Yeah. The Defilers, $145.
Yeah. which is
Mutilators,
painful.
we don't know the exact price, but they're probably $80, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I want... oh, so sorry. I want 2 squads of Histari. They're... I'm so sorry. They're probably going to be $65 each. The Destrier is too expensive, and I want one. Then I want the Sons of Dorn box, which is almost $300. By the time you put all that together, we're already pushing 1,000.
Yeah, because I want a Defiler and I want a Sons of Dorn box, even though I don't know why I want one, other than I want one.
That's fair.
I mean, I guess my Emperor's Fists and my Dark Angels need a Repulsor Executioner. Painted in those colors.
That's fair. Any other thoughts before we close for the night, gentlemen?
Other than Ultramarines need to stop being messed with, I'm good.
Brian, and this is just to mess with Brian as we're closing here. The flawless blades are 4 attacks apiece, 2s to hit, 6 strength, neg 3 AP, 2 damage apiece. That's what you know that.
Well, they can't hurt my Blade Guard veteran or Victrix Honor Guard if my Hell Blaster shot him off the field first.
That is true.
Oh, did I also tell you they move 8 inches and can advance and charge? Anyways.
Yep.
That's good to know.
They're awesome. I love them.
You love everything, Trey. You have every army out there except for Ultramarines, which is a sad, sad state for you.
So,
Oh.
technically, I do have an Iron Snake, which is an Ultramarine, so...
Also, they crit on 3 pluses to wound.
They sure do.
Anyways.
Shoot them off the board before they get to me. Even if I'm running Thousand Suns, I will.
Brian, I have a little lore snippet to leave you with.
Okay.
It's about the Ultramarines.
Yes.
Did you know right before the Word Bearers betrayed the Ultramarines on Calth, there was an Ultramarine that tried to warn Gilliman that he didn't trust the Word Bearers and he thought they were going to betray him?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Gilliman stripped him of his rank and kicked him to the curb and said, they will never betray us. And then they murdered half of his planet.
Well, I think we know that you can't trust people who are chaos.
So just keep that in mind, that there was a guy that tried to warn him. And
Well, I'm pretty sure there was a
said,
guy that
"No
tried to
way,
warn the
Jose."
Emperor.
Yeah, that
Tried
was
to warn
Magnus.
the Emperor, and they sent a bunch of Space Wolves after him.
Yeah, that's true. That is correct. So,
Like father, like son. Hey,
like father,
everybody
like
makes
son.
everybody makes one mistake. That was his. All right.
There you go.
After
There
that,
you go.
Ultramarines don't make mistakes.
Of course not. Yeah, of course not. Oh, it's gonna be good to be the poster boys next edition. I'm so excited for it not to be Ultramarines for a little bit.
I'm just
and
saying,
be Blood Angels.
you are poster boys, but the fact that there's no Blood Angel specific.
no.
I'm just
means
saying it's pretty red on that box, not blue.
It is very red, but all those things can be painted blue, yellow, green.
Sure, I could do the same for any of your blue boxes. I could paint them whatever color I want.
You probably do.
I do.
I also
Becky.
just realized that the flawless blades have the grenade keyword.
They sure do.
That's because
I'm
they're
beginning to
chaos.
hate myself. It's fine.
Yes, RJ, if it's a powerful army, you somehow fall into it. This time you had a girlfriend that give it to you. I mean,
That
even
you
when
call
things
crazy.
That's true.
even even when things go the way I want them to go in life, I still get punished.
Ooh, the Noise Marines aren't bad either.
No, Noise Marines are great.
All right.
Anyway, until next time, I've been Trey.
I'm Brian.
I'm RJ.
This has been the Lowrollers and RJ.
Remember, when you're thinking Warhammer, think Ultramarines.
No, I'm good.
Bye, everybody.